All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Main Street Accelerator Information Center information session. My name is Kristen Lopez, the Education Training Director of Connecticut Main Street Center. Thanks so much for joining us today. We are very excited to announce the launch of our brand new program, Main Street Accelerator. In today's information session, we're going to go over what it is, what to expect, and the application process. Of course, we'll have time at the end to answer any questions that you might have. But before we get into it, just a few words. Connecticut Main Street Center is the expert resource for developing and sustaining vibrant downtowns and main streets that fuel our state's prosperity. It is our mission to assess, educate, and convene around the topics central to creating a thriving downtown so that main streets all around the state can develop, grow, and prosper. We are very grateful to our sponsors and funding partners that make this work possible. Connecticut Main Street Center's founding sponsors are Eversource and the State of Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development. We all know a great downtown when we see it. It's a feeling, it's an energy, we can sense, see, experience, but sometimes it can be hard to articulate what exactly makes a main street great. But we've broken it down into 6 qualities to make it a little bit easier grasp. And these are the qualities that we see in all vibrant downtowns. First, there is dedicated Main Street management. And then second, the Main Street is connected by multiple modes of transportation for people to access. It's welcoming, friendly, and inclusive. And sustainable practices bring life and vibrancy for today and for the future. Small businesses are supported and encouraged, as well as development investment. And of course, there's a unique sense of place. It is our mission to assess, educate, and convene around these qualities of a vibrant downtown so that main streets all around the state can develop, grow, and prosper. And as such, we have developed our new program, Main Street Accelerator, to help downtowns around the state to cultivate these qualities in a practical and helpful way. And to kick us off, I'd like to introduce our Executive Director of the Connecticut Main Street Center, Michelle McCabe, to share a bit more about why we developed this program and what to expect.
Thank you, Kristen. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad to be welcoming all of you to this information session on the Main Street Accelerator program. As Kristen explained in her introduction, it's something that I know all of you on this webinar are fully aware because you are entrenched in Main Street, that when we go to a Main Street and we see how amazing it is, there is an incredible amount of work behind the scenes to create that experience that residents and visitors all enjoy. And not only is that back end work being hopefully managed by an entity, but it involves a wide range of stakeholders to make that vibrant Main Street possible. And we're extremely excited about Main Street Accelerator because it is an opportunity for us to combine 2 elements to assist all of you in maintaining and developing that vibrant Main Street experience. On the one hand, you are going to be exposed to an incredibly deep amount of learnings and curriculum along the way through this program that Kristen will be explaining. But at the same time, what's exciting about Accelerator is the intent is for the participants to have a team approach. And it gives you that sort of space and opportunity to work together towards solving a problem or creating a project management for something that you'd like to see happen on your Main Street. And I think what's so exciting about Accelerator is it's giving that opportunity to do those 2 things, to learn, but also to work together as a team and in partnership with the enormous amount of expertise that you are going to find in our Connecticut Main Street staff, which I'm sure you've already experienced yourselves. So Very excited for all of you to learn more about the program today, and equally excited to introduce Susan DeCina from the Office of Business Development with the Department of Economic and Community Development with the state. If it wasn't for our partnership with DECD, this program would not be possible, and we're really excited to be bringing her here today to talk more about what we're going to be offering. Thank you so much, Susan, for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks, Michelle. I'm Susan DeCina. I'm Community Development Specialist at the Department of Economic and Community Development, and I also have a background in municipal planning and some revitalization work. Really happy to be here. Connecticut Main Street Center has been a long-time partner of DECD, in fact, since 1999. The work that the center does really provides valuable training, tools, and resources to support communities and growth and revitalization of Connecticut's Main Street. And this work really addresses an important need that connects with the work that DECD does, which includes programs and assistance supporting community development and small business growth. I mean, really, there's no panacea for downtown revitalization. It really takes a comprehensive approach. And this new accelerator program provides a great new opportunity for an in-depth look at specific challenges or projects and creates a plan to move forward. And I'm really looking forward to hearing about the projects and the outcome. And thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Susan, for your comments and also for DECD's continual support of Connecticut Main Street Center. So now let's get into exactly what is Main Street Accelerator. So Main Street Accelerator is an action-oriented leadership development program that is grounded in helping communities implement a project that will benefit their community. By the end of the program, each community will have a completed action plan, a community engagement flyer, and the opportunity to receive grant funding to execute the project. Main Street Accelerator is a perfect fit for communities with an identified challenge or opportunity that has public support, but it just needs a little bit of organization, guidance, and extra attention. So what can you expect as a participant? What are some of the benefits? One, you will be guided through launching your project or solving your challenge through a curated curriculum based in best practices. And we'll be going through that in a moment. The whole program was designed with busy professionals in mind, so convenience was a huge factor in creating this. So each month, the curriculum will be released online in a platform, so you can go through the lessons at your own pace, and every month we'll come together as a big group to dive deeper into the topic and to discuss it as a group. The Main Street Accelerator really exists to help you launch a project. It's not meant to be an intellectual exercise, but to help you accomplish the work your Main Street needs. I am so sorry that we have a lawnmower right here. I really hope my sound is okay. I apologize for stopping. Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. So just to reiterate, Main Street Accelerator, it exists to help you actually implement a real project. It's not meant to be a kind of a navel-gazing exercise, but to help you actually do the work. And you will also be giving templates that you can put into use immediately into your community. The program has built-in accountability through team tasks and assignments that are designed to keep your team on track. In addition to the self-paced curriculum and live monthly sessions, you will have 3 group coaching calls throughout the program to give you tailored advice to your project and situation. And for eligible graduates of the program, some seed funding will be available to help you launch your project. Eligibility will be based on the attendance of the live monthly sessions and your team's completion of the assignments. So who's eligible to apply? And what are we looking for? First, we're talking about a defined project that you have identified, or a challenge that you want to solve. So for a defined project, we're talking about something like you want to launch a farmer's market, or you have a vacant theater that you're really looking to revitalize, but a lot of partners are needed to pull it together. For a challenge, that could be something a little bit more abstract, in the sense that you want to defeat negative perception of your downtown, or you really want to figure out how to encourage entrepreneurship and small business on your main street. And you're not exactly sure how to go about that. And so through this program, we'll be giving tools to think about exactly how you can solve that challenge. And if you already have a defined project, how you can implement that project. Some of the things that are not a good fit are challenges or projects that are really based in like infrastructure. That won't be a good fit for this program. All Connecticut communities with a Main Street, downtown, village center, or commercial corridor are welcome to apply. Preference will be given to Connecticut Main Street Center members. However, if you're not a member, that's okay. We still encourage you to apply. And if you are accepted, you will receive a 1-year Connecticut Main Street Center membership. And a unique aspect to this program is that we're asking for a community to apply as a team. So Main Street management at its core is collaborative. A lot of different stakeholders need to come together to really see their Main Street revitalize and be vibrant and thrive. So each accepted community must have 3 to 5 stakeholders as part of the team participating in the program to really ensure the project's success. So we'd love to see at least one individual who has decision-making power or authority in their downtown. So that could be a Main Street manager or an economic development director, or the property owner, for example. And then other participants we'd love to see on your team could be board members, commissioners, volunteers, other municipal department officials, business owners, anchor institutions, really kind of those key stakeholders of your Main Street. And so now let's take a look at the timeline and curriculum. So first, where we are today, we will be launching the application. And so in fact, after this webinar, you'll receive a link to the application, and the applications will be open until November 3rd. Between the month of November, we will be notifying all of the accepted communities, and we'll have a deadline when we want to hear if you will join us or not. December 7th, we will have a in-person kickoff event. The location of that is to be determined. That might greatly depend on if we get a lot of communities from one part of the state. We'll probably be closer to there, but that will be to be determined. Also, during this time, you'll be given access to the online platform, and you can start diving into the month 1 content. And so the first month of the program, we're really going to be looking at Main Street management, understanding the 4-point approach, and seeing how that framework can really apply to the project or challenge that you are tackling by looking at it from multiple different angles. We'll then also kick off the first group coaching calls to make sure that your project is on track for the rest of the program. And then we're going to be talking about sustainable development. And our focus here of sustainable development is to really develop that lens, from an equity lens, from an environmental lens, and from an economic lens. How can we make sure that the challenge or project that you're trying to implement really focuses on implementing this, sustainability lens. And the reason why we have it towards the beginning is because we want to make sure that the threads of sustainability are really infused into your action plan. And now in our month 3, we're going to start getting into the nuts and bolts. And so we're going to be putting together our action plan, planning our project, thinking through what are the tasks and initiatives that are going to be most important to our program, and how do we assign tasks and make sure that they are appropriate for what we're trying to accomplish. We'll have more group coaching calls. Month 4 is all about building and activating your team. So we're going to be talking quite a bit about volunteer management and how can we get people involved, and not just think of them, we give them a t-shirt and, they're happy to be a volunteer, but how can we actually engage professionals to help us see our project come to fruition? And then we're going to be talking about community engagement. And when we talk about community engagement, we're going to be talking about marketing best practices. We're going to be talking about all the different methods and strategies to engage the community. We really need to be using a multimodal approach when we talk with our community members, and making sure that our residents, our business owners, our property owners, all of our stakeholders really understand what we're trying to do with our project. We'll then have some group coaching calls to kind of round out the program. And then month 6, our last module of content, will be focusing on tracking impact and ensuring long-term success. So here we're going to be looking at the data that we need to be collecting before and after the program to see if it was successful. We'll also be looking at funding and what are the things that we need to be thinking about so that we can find sustainable funding year over year for our project. And then lastly, on June 18th, location to be determined, we will be having our 20th annual Awards of Excellence. And that is an opportunity for you to exhibit your projects for all of Connecticut to see what you guys have been up to for the last 6 months. And so to apply, our application deadline, as I mentioned, is November 3rd, and they open today. It's a short application process, and it may be competitive based on the amount of applications that we receive. We are going to be capping it at 10 communities. And this application process is really to make sure that that you're set up for success. We don't want to see a community come into this program if it's not the right time or if the project won't be a good fit for it. So in this process, we're going to be just asking, who are your team members, your team contact info, a description of the project or challenge, who is your team, why now, like why is now a good time for this project, and what do you expect to get out of it? Again, it's very short. And if you have any questions though at all, please reach out to me. You can email me at kristen@ctmainstreet.org. And like I said, within probably an hour after this webinar, you're going to be getting a link to apply for this program. So you can check out the application and reach out to me if you have any questions. And so with that, I'm going to pause here and open it up for any questions that you might have. So feel free to chat them. I'll give a few minutes. Christine had just chatted out the link to the application, so you can check that out there. Can we get feedback on a project idea before formally submitting an application? Yes, absolutely. That's a great idea, and we'd absolutely welcome that. Again, you can email me at kristen@ctmainstreet.org. Any other questions that you might have? We're very excited to bring this program to light. One of the challenges that we have seen throughout the state on all of our field services visits is that there's no shortage of work that needs to be done on our main streets. But doing the work is really hard because one, you have one person that wears many, many, many hats. Not all of our main streets have a dedicated Main Street manager. And so sometimes it's the economic development person who's in charge of a lot of things, and Main Street is just one focus. And the whole idea here is to create a space where you can take some time as a team and really move the needle on progress on a project. We really see that if this is kind of also a volunteer-led or a citizen-led project, but the city is really in support of, or the downtown agency is in support of, we'd welcome them to apply as well. I don't see any more questions coming through. One here. So everyone in your group has access to the curriculum and the support. Yep, absolutely. Everyone, so the whole team will get access to the platform. We'll have all the access to the lessons that are in there. The lessons also too are primarily short form video. And when I mean by short form, maybe maximum 10 minutes long. So these are meant to kind of be digested whenever you have some time. And the support is given to the whole group. There won't be individual support one-on-one, but the whole team will receive support together through group coaching calls. And if you can't think of any questions right now, but they come to you later, again, please feel free to reach out to me. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Hi, can you hear me? This is Ken Fredette from Windsor.
Yes, hi.
Hi, so I had a question just as I'm sort of thinking through potential projects to do, and I'm kind of new with this, so not totally sure about what might fit or not fit. So just an idea that I had just for some initial feedback. Something about like a welcoming sign to the town center that might be on a public/private parking lot that would represent multiple businesses, where it's possible that the individual businesses could pool their money together to make that a good welcoming area, but we could also help facilitate that. Is that something where, because there is a private sector benefit, the businesses right there would benefit most from that, and if they had that benefit and had that interest, would that be more appropriate that they do that outside of this program, or is that a kind of idea that this program would help facilitate? We've got 3 entrances to our town center, so I'm kind of thinking about doing one of those at each entrance, and just wanted to get some thoughts on, does that sound okay? Am I thinking about this right, etc.?
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Ken. I think I'm just thinking through that right now. This is kind of what's going through my mind. You're talking about kind of creating that gateway signage, kind of that placemaking, kind of branding your downtown Main Street, and it would require kind of a lot of potential stakeholder engagement to what's going to be up there, getting permission to put something up on a wall, something like that. I think it could be a fit. I think that I potentially going through an initiative like that for the success of that project would love to see some additional thinking, just going through kind of like, what's the message that you're trying to get across there? Are there additional benefits as you want to use this as kind of like a catalyst for building stronger bonds between your Main Street merchants? Is it something, that's going to be reviewed annually? So maybe I'd like to see, and we can think through more of this. How can it be fully leveraged versus just, hey, we have a mural up on a wall, but something that is thoughtful, and how it can integrate with a further kind of strategic initiative or plan, if that makes sense. And happy to talk more with you offline. That's kind of top of my head right now.
Okay, great, thank you. And the general idea would be to stop in Windsor Center instead of driving through, and like, here's the stuff that we have, stop and walk around. So there ideally would be benefit everywhere, but the initial outlay might most directly benefit specific businesses rather than all businesses, but that would be the longer term goal.
Got it. Yeah, I think there's some potential there for sure. And again, we can talk more offline. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Another question here, is there an additional cost for the program, or is it just part of membership? Yeah, right now, thanks to our funders, there's no additional cost to this program. Which is great, because as we launch this in future years, that may not always be the case. So definitely take advantage of the no-cost program this year.
Just wanted to clarify the question on the potential for grants. Are those sized yet? Is there a range that might be applied to those?
They're not sized exactly yet, but looking at a kind of 1,000 to 5,000 potential range. Excellent. Perfect. So like I said, please feel free to email me. Email is the best way to get a hold of me right now with any questions. And as mentioned, if you want to think through a project, let's talk. I'm really excited to learn more about what you have on your mind, and to hear more about what you're doing in your community. So before we sign off here, and I can stay on longer if there are more questions, I just want to also give a big announcement to the fact that our in-person summits are back. Connecticut Main Street Center used to do a bunch of in-person summits before COVID, and now we're getting back to it. So coming October 26th is Positioning Connecticut Main Streets in the Social Media Landscape. Join us as we dive into the ever-evolving relationship between marketing and Main Streets. Discover the pivotal role social media plays in influencing residents and visitors, and explore how online audiences can be converted into real-life customers for Main Street businesses and amenities. We'll discuss how to effectively collaborate and leverage social influencers and entrepreneurs to promote your community and drive economic growth. You definitely won't want to miss this. We have 3 excellent panels. We're going to be looking at a case study of New Canaan. We're going to be looking at a case study in Westville. And then we're also going to have Anthony, the Chief Marketing Officer for the state of Connecticut, talk about what's happening on a statewide level marketing, and how you can get involved with that. Register before October 1st to get your early bird tickets. And with that, thank you so much for joining us. We're very excited for our first ever Main Street Accelerator program. We hope to see your application come through. And like I said, be on the lookout for the link to apply in your email inbox. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at Kristen@ConnecticutMainStreet.org. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll just stay on a few minutes longer in case anyone has any questions. Bye-bye.